Hey guys, it's Yolanda. So welcome back to my kitchen. So maybe you saw my last YouTube video that I uploaded where I talked about breakfast and specifically a pitaya bowl. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. I put it on my Apple TV and I was like, holy shit girl, like you are a hot mess. Like pull your life together in the next video that you make. So girlfriend threw on a little mascara, put on a little bit of gloss, and straighten out my weave, and here I am ready to talk to you guys about meal prep. I am gonna let you guys know one thing. A lot of people always want recipes from me, and I don't use recipes. You know that I use my little container system, and that is how I basically plan out my complex meals. But I do have good news. I am gonna put together some dishes in this particular video so that you guys have an idea of how you too can be combining different food choices. You are just beginning to meal prep. If you are a seasoned meal prepper, or you know, if you just feel like you have a good grasp on it, one thing that I will always tell anyone that is just starting to prep is pull out a piece of paper and write down your meal prep. Okay, this will take you time, yes, but I think that it will save you a lot of energy and headache in the long run. In this particular video, I actually am going to kind of, I guess in a sense, like plate my meals, which is not something that I typically do. Typically, what I will do is I just make up like all my carbs, make up all my proteins, make up all my veggies, and I will just have them and just put them in a big Pyrex, and then like on the night before that I'm gonna go to bed, I'll decide what it is that I wanna eat. But I know that a lot of people, like when they're just getting started, it's maybe a little bit easier to grasp the fact that, okay, like literally like everything is planned out. And what you're also gonna notice that I will do is I'm not gonna eat the same combinations of food every single day, right? Or every single meal. Like that gets boring. Like I know I don't wanna eat like that. I don't expect any of you to wanna eat like that either. The other thing that I really wanna tell you guys is that when it comes to eating healthy, think outside of the box. Who says you can't have quinoa for breakfast? Who says you can't eat hard-boiled eggs as a bedtime snack? So I want you guys to think about that, right? In my mind, as long as you are eating clean, you are eating well, you are eating portions, and you're doing that 80% of the time, that's where you're gonna get your results. And I think that if you step back and you just think about, okay, this is so easy, and to me, this is why my containers make my life so much easier, is because I just say, okay, I know that I'm allowed to have X amount of, you know, protein for the day. How am I gonna divide that up? All right, so in my opinion, let's talk about the most time-consuming part of meal prepping. Now, I typically don't print out my menu guides, but for the purposes of this video, I want you guys to be able to kind of see how this would work. But I have all edible PDF files that I use on my computer, and I just literally upload them to like iCloud, and then that way I have them, I have those files accessible to me like when I'm in the grocery store. I have that file accessible to me anywhere that I am, so it can be on my MacBook, I can be on my phone, and I have those files there. So that's just something to think about. I have kind of adapted this container system. I have updated my file, and I call this my food Bible, right? It's the Fit Nurse Food Bible. So again, this is something like whenever I'm out and about, I have this, it's on hand, super easy. My challengers all have access to this because I post and I share with them. Once I'm done with this video, kind of giving you guys like a shopping list of what it was that I used in this particular video, because I know that someone's gonna want it and ask. So in that food Bible, I also have like a list of things to buy. So literally just like a shopping list. I talk about the things that when you're out and about, the things you should get organic versus things you should get, you can afford to buy inorganic. I have some meal options and ideas in here, and essentially what it is when I look at this like today, and it's kind of funny, is that literally this is my container system, okay? So I had the idea of like what it was that I needed, but I hadn't grasped that idea of portion controlling it. For planning purposes is that in that food Bible, I have a blank sheet so that you can go in and guess what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna prepare out my meals. For the sake of showing you guys, I did print these out. And so all I'm gonna do is basically, I've written out how many of each container I'm allowed to have for the day, and then I can tally this. And I can tally this either in this portable PDF, or there's an app that I can do it right there, and I just check off as I have my containers. I literally just count how cute my little containers are, all right? So seeds and dressings, my healthy fats, my carbs, my veggies, my proteins, and my fruits. I've been on my fitness journey for a while, and I don't necessarily need to lose any more weight. I kind of adjust the program's food to kind of suit my needs, right? So while you might see like my numbers, if somebody were to zoom in and see them like, whoa, like she's eating a lot of carbs, or whoa, she's having a lot of fat, or whatever it is, just kind of keep in mind that we all have our own goals. And so if you're someone that you are looking to lose weight, your container system is gonna look a little bit different than mine. Alright guys, I'm back. So I didn't even clock time, but it probably took me about 10 minutes just to kind of think about this. And you can see I kind of scratched out things here and there and, you know, changed up some things. So here's the deal. Basically, my major proteins for this week are gonna be chicken. I eat a lot of chicken, doesn't bother me. As far as me cooking fish, it's not something that I wanna ever think about heating up and taking to work, and I feel like it's one of those things I don't wanna have heated fish at all. I do realize that sometimes like proteins can get kind of sketch when you start like reheating them, and seafood is just not one that I can do. I bought these cute little turkey slider burgers that are kind of like already like mixed up, ready to go. So I'm gonna have those. And then I'm gonna just make some shredded barbecue chicken. As far as breakfast, every morning I am having my liquid crack. Honestly, it's gonna count as a protein for me. I can throw in some fruit, I get that blended up, and I am out the door, okay? Then the other thing for me to think about is someone's like, well, I don't wanna drink shakes. I still will have a morning snack that is actually like maybe a protein, maybe it's a healthy fat or something, but I might have that around like 10 o'clock, okay? Because the days when I'm going to work, like I'm up super early, and it's so important to start your day off with, you know, something healthy and something that's kind of going to give you that energy to power through. Now the other thing that is so important, you're going to notice I don't plan out all 7 of my days, because really for me, days when I am home, I enjoy cooking. That's not a problem for me. It's not something I struggle with. But I am working Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. Now what you will see is that I still planned out my Friday. Okay, so Friday will be like kind of whatever's left over, but look what else I planned in my Friday. Yes, I am giving myself that cheat, okay? So it's there. Plan out your cheat meal, okay? So if you know that over the weekend, like you've got a baby shower, you got something that you're gonna go to, plan around it, right? So when you really stop and kind of, you know, put things together and how it is that you're gonna plan, and just thinking beforehand and not setting yourself up for failure, that is where meal prep really is gonna save you, really help you achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve. So next up, how am I gonna get this stuff prepped? So for my shakes, what I'm gonna do is essentially I am going to make my shake baggies. So I will cut up the fruit that I'm gonna use in my shakes, whatever veggies I may use in my shakes. I'm not gonna have any greens in my shakes this week, and I'm totally fine with that. Like that shake has more than enough of the vitamins, nutrients, and minerals that I need just to jumpstart my morning. Kind of slice up all my fruit, put those in little sandwich baggies. That way in the morning, I don't have to think about what my shake is gonna consist of. All I gotta do is dump that baggie, drop my liquid in there. Maybe it is almond milk, maybe it's water, and I just throw my liquid crack in there, and it's good, and I'm ready to go. When you are prepping, you need to get the things that are gonna take the longest time out of the way. So for me, for some of my carbs that I'm gonna have, I'm gonna make up quinoa, and I'm gonna make up some baked yams or sweet potatoes. I don't know. You guys, what is the difference between the two? I probably should figure that out. And I'm gonna boil some eggs. So all those are gonna be things that are gonna take me a little bit of time. I wanna get those out of the way because while I've got my water boiling for my eggs, and while I got my sweet potatoes baking, I want to be moving forward in my prep. It doesn't take me very long to prep. It does take me a long time when I'm trying to edit videos and do all this. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm not really gonna track my time, but ideally I can get my prep done in like an hour to an hour and a half. Okay, so the things that are gonna take the longest time. I am gonna just be super freaking lazy. I've got this all natural chicken, they're chicken tenderloins. I am just gonna throw these in some water, boil it, get my chicken nice and tender. I'll put a little bit of pink salt and some celery, and then once it's all done, I'll just pull that chicken apart, kind of make like shredded chicken. Again, these are those little cutesy turkey sliders I was talking about. They've actually got cranberries in them. Now what I'm gonna do is, because I'm not gonna have all these probably looking portion wise, honestly, per each, I probably can have probably 2 and count it as 1 red container. So I will freeze the rest of this. So, I paid $7.51 for this, but again, I'm stretching this over the course of essentially 2, 4, 6, 8, that's 4 meals that I'm stretching that over. All right, now this was kind of a cheat. So you always want to make sure that you are buying super lean meats. I am gonna do the Fit Nurse's take on spaghetti, right? So I don't eat pasta. If you were wanting to do pasta, you just need to substitute whole grain, but I'm not even gonna do that. I enjoy zoodles. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this meat browned up. Got some hunkin potatoes, so these are sweet potatoes. I will get these all scrubbed and washed up. I'm gonna have quinoa. Now, here's the deal. I will make up this quinoa, and I want to make it sooner rather than later because I want it to actually cool all the way down, because I'm going to make these little quinoa parfaits where I use yogurt, quinoa in my appropriate portion, and some berries. And I know it sounds weird, you think quinoa for breakfast or quinoa for a morning snack. Again, you guys, this is thinking outside the box, and I promise you it tastes really good. I've got going on is I have my eggs being hard boiled back here. Now, here's a little secret to eggs that I have discovered, because if you're anything like me, you're always screwing them up. But this little thing that I got from Bed Bath & Beyond has been an absolute lifesaver. So you boil your eggs, then you throw this thing in there, and you gotta kind of be diligent and watch it, but it will literally tell you when your egg gets hard boiled. It's going to actually end up changing colors. So, all right, so something that I'm gonna make, I've never made it, but I figured why not, I can do it. I'm gonna make some peach and mango salsa, because I'm gonna have mangoes for my shakes this week. The salsa, I'm gonna need some red onion and some garlic, and so I'm also gonna go ahead and make enough that I can just throw it into my ground turkey when it's browning up. Another little Fit Nurse tip, instead of using actual oil, you can just use the spray. There you go. Another little tip for you. I think it's so important to clean up as you go so that you don't have this explosion of a kitchen. I love, I always will put my meats and my veggies in these little plastics. So as I'm opening my chicken, as I'm opening the turkey, I will throw these cartons in there. That way it's contained, and throw in the trash. Another little Fit Nurse tip. Now I am a little lazy, I guess, or maybe I just don't want to cry over onions and garlic. So I'm actually gonna just maybe use a quarter of this onion and throw some garlic into my Vitamix. Genius! This onion is so strong, I am still managing to tear up. Anyway, so I got my little turkey burgers going. I got my eggs going. You can see how the little timer thing is changing colors. So if I wanted soft-boiled eggs, they would be at the point where I could go ahead and take them out. But of course I want them hard-boiled. Over here I've got my my chicken, which is just gonna at this point just be at a simmer. So the next thing that I want to do, because once my hands are washed and I'm done handling all this raw meat, I will get into prepping out the rest of my veggies, prepping out the rest of my fruit. By the way, these freaking little turkey burgers I got are fucking amazing. Thank you, Central Market. Alright, so I will use a true pasta sauce for my my zucchini and turkey. I will just use these organic diced tomatoes. So these are something like I have like 5 and 6 cans. Every time I go to the grocery store, usually I just grab one. I'm just gonna throw this right into my turkey meat, and that should be saucy enough. I won't drain these or anything. Else. I've got these little sweet peppers that I'm just going to cut. I will chop these up, go ahead and portion them out, put them into a little container, and I will have this with the peach and mango salsa that I'm gonna make. I got some steam in the bag veggies, so this is probably about probably 2 servings worth is how I would have these. So just having a good like chunk of veggies to go with my meal. So the serving size on here says 4, but I got some Brussels sprouts. Here's the thing, I'm gonna get these cut up and sprinkled with some olive oil, topped with a little bit of pink salt. However, I feel like Brussels sprouts are like fucking funky. I will heat these up and I will only have them at dinner to spare my coworkers. What I'm gonna do on the days when I actually have my zoodles is I will just store these. Once I get them all spiraled up, I will store them in a Pyrex container. And then what I will do is, and I don't even know if this is great, but it's easy and it's quick for me. I'll put a little bit of water into the Pyrex container and actually just heat it up, and so it steams in the microwave. Zoodles, if you kind of cook them and prepare them and you let them sit, they honestly will last a day. If I just leave them spiraled and in their raw state, I can stretch them for a good 3-4 days. I'm gonna use my Vitamix again. I've got some tomatoes here. I'm gonna go ahead and just pulse it in the Vitamix, throw some peach in there. I've got this pineapple here that I will get all kind of cored up and ready to go. And then I think, to be honest, I've got this, which I'll just divide out. This is organic spring, actually this organic sweet leaves. It went all the way down as to put what fruits I'm gonna have each day with my shakes. So what I'll do is I will cut these bananas up and go ahead and freeze them. The other thing that I did have, and if you guys know me or you've been following me, you know that the struggle is real for me when it comes to avocado. And I have a sneaky suspicion that this avocado, even though I just bought it like maybe a day or 2 ago, has probably got brown spots in it. I'm gonna cut it and we'll see. Yeah, it does. So, am I gonna throw this away? Nope. You know why? It is going to make for the perfect addition into one of my Shakeologies, so that I can portion this out into my blue container. Sit here. Yeah, so it's like half avocado. Portion that out into my blue container, and guess what? It's gonna go in one of my smoothie bags. So when fruit starts to get kind of on that side where it's like, ooh, I don't want to eat it, but I know that if I blend it up, it's just gonna be just fine and I would never know the difference, that's what I'll do. And when you start eating really healthy, you are gonna hate throwing away healthy whole food that you've paid good money for. Alright, so I've got my Brussels drizzled with just a little bit of olive oil and some Himalayan sea salt. Sometimes when I'm not being lazy, what I'll do is I'll actually put my Brussels into like a Pyrex container, put the lid on the top of the Pyrex and actually shake it up so that I make sure that like the entire Brussels is coated. I'm not doing that. I'm just, again, kind of just moving along. Alright, because I know someone's gonna ask what kind of spiralizer do I use. This is a Vegetti. I think it's like a Vegetti Pro, possibly. I got it from Bed Bath & Beyond. I think it was like 20 bucks. Get a coupon and save 20% off. It is super easy to use, and I'm gonna... I don't peel these. Pepper time! So remember in the beginning when I browned up my turkey meat, I had already done some red onions with garlic. I'm just gonna go ahead, wash up the cilantro, chop up this peach, put it into my Vitamix, pulse it for a little bit, add some tomatoes, a little bit of olive oil, and I have my own peach salsa. So guess who's got a frickin' meal prep snack? And believe it or not, I'm gonna have a few chips with it. So let's see what this tastes like. And I didn't add like salt or anything else. Literally it was just peach, red onion, garlic, tomato, and cilantro, and some olive oil. What was that? Mmm. Hello, Martha Stewart. And I personally don't like anything that's spicy, so this is fucking perfect. Literally, I still need to prep out my freaking fruits. My lemon just fell on the floor. But look, I just took the other half of that avocado that's kind of brown, and I'm gonna eat that sucker because I'm fucking hungry. Hashtag Joe's recipe for y'all. You guys, seriously, I had to put the salsa away because I feel like I could have sat and eaten that for like ever. And here's the deal. You guys saw what I put in there? So if you think about one green container full, because you know that we didn't add like any sugars or any other like whole bunch of crap, you could literally eat a whole container, whole green of the peach salsa. And to be honest, like the fruit is so minimal, like because one of those peaches, that probably like half of that peach would have fit into a purple container, so that I wouldn't even count that. Like, pineapple core, an amazing $20 investment. Again, Bed Bath & Beyond, I used 20% coupon, but this will cut this pineapple and core it up like no other. So I'll show y'all how it works. You literally just chop the top of the pineapple off. Throw the head of that pineapple into your little trash baggie, right? Kind of just line this thing up so it has like these little number ticks, so I know how far to crank this thing down. All right, so there's my pineapple. Look at that, I have a little fresh pineapple juice. Mmm. Wow. Mmm. That pineapple's really good. Now, all I ever really do is I just take this. This thing will pop off. Whoops. Perfect cored pineapple, right? How cool is that? The other thing I will do, because I'm all about kind of like maximizing and making sure, like if you're paying money for good food, like make sure you're eating it all, right? Salvage what I can salvage, and then usually me and Ralphie share a little snack. All right, time to make my little shake bags. Look at this banana, right? That's gross. I don't know about you, but I can never eat a banana that way. However, I think that they're amazing in a smoothie. You guys, my little trash bag, look how full my trash bag is. They are great in smoothies. You should make sure that you can get a top one to it is really kind of the only criteria. Like it needs to be fitting into the container, not overflowing it.
Made, boom, ready to go.
Okay guys, so my Brussels are all done. See, they got a little charred, but honestly, that's like perfection. Again, not something I'm gonna take to work and heat up because it smells like shit. So one of the things I was talking about is getting creative with your food. Doing things that like other people wouldn't necessarily find, like you're gonna put that together. So I'm gonna make these little yogurt. I'm gonna make these little yogurt and quinoa parfaits in there, right? So all you would do, and you'll see, like, this is actually a ton of yogurt when it's all portioned out. So I count this as a protein, right? Quick, easy protein for me to have. And then now, as far as the quinoa, I'm not gonna put a crap ton of quinoa in there. Looking at carb portions, it's about all I'm gonna use in each of these, and probably that's even too much, so you can kind of see there. Now, if I were gonna be home and not at work, this is something that I would totally like layer up and make it all pretty, but obviously we're not gonna do that. And then I'm just gonna take this fruit, I'll throw it in a baggie, and then when I'm at work, I can just sprinkle my fruit on top. Here's the other thing. If I didn't get a chance to have, you know, my fruit with the yogurt parfait, then I've got something else later on that I could also, use and have for a quick, easy snack. I have found it so beneficial for me to have like a PM snack that I pack at work. So like, you know, maybe it's like 2 hard-boiled eggs that I'll leave in the refrigerator at work. But then when I'm on my way home, I will get them like taken out of the shell before I leave, or I could even peel them, you know, beforehand if I wanted to do it that way. I typically don't do that, but I'm telling you, I literally will snack on those and have them in the elevator, and so then I'm giving myself a little bit of nutrition, some protein, so that when I do come home, I'm not like so tired, and I hopefully can push myself through my 30-minute workout. Nice and soft. So really, this is it. The only thing I have to do is just shred up my chicken. I don't think anyone needs to see how I shred chicken. Literally 2 forks, pull it apart. Actually, let me come back and talk about this real quick. I literally had pulled out 2 forks and I went to go like touch this chicken, and it literally is just falling off, like just falling apart. I don't even need a fork. So honestly, I boiled it. So pretty much it's like the equivalent of really just doing it in a crock pot. And it's hot, in case you can't tell. Now I know that somebody's gonna ask me, where does barbecue sauce fit in your portion control? And it doesn't, okay? So that'll be like a little bit of a, I guess, cheat, little extra that I'll have. And that's fine. I mean, when we look at how balanced everything else is that I'm eating, and it's not like I'm gonna like slather this in sauce, I just wanna get it like so that it's just kind of like the chicken is a little bit coated, you know, it doesn't need to be like drenched. You guys, my fucking fingers are on fire. What a fucking moron. So, again, and you can easily do this in a crock pot. So if you're like a mom or, you know, someone with a busy effing schedule, and you don't feel like you would have time to like, you know, give it like 2 hours to just sit and kind of boil on the back of the stove, put it in a crock pot, set it, forget it. I don't like crock pots because I am kind of really weird about leaving appliances on when I'm not home and Ralphie's here. Hashtag crazy dog lady. Alright guys, so believe it or not, I'm finally done. Like I mentioned, this typically wouldn't take me a very long time, except for the fact that it's kind of hard that I don't have a personal cameraman yet. I'm gonna come back with a final picture of my complete 3-day meal prep, fit nurse style. I really hope that this was helpful for you guys. Top here, you've got my liquid crack with my little fruit baggies all ready to go. So all I'm gonna do in the morning, I'll put those in the freezer, and then all I have to do is just pour my liquid in, dump my pre-prepped baggie, and then I'm good to go. Next up, you've got my morning snacks. So I got 2 hard-boiled eggs here with some raw nuts and seeds. So that will actually count as a healthy fat and protein. The next day, I've got some berries with that quinoa and yogurt mixture I made. And then the next day, I've got some nuts and seeds again with the bell peppers that I will inevitably end up having the amazing peach salsa that I made. Coming over here, quick lunch for me to have while I'm at work. You can see I've got a carb in there, kind of just sprinkle some quinoa. That's not even a full carb container. Got my protein, got some extra fruit in there just for a little bit of like afternoon energy. Next day, my version of spaghetti. And then coming over here, I've got my pulled barbecue chicken, mixed vegetables, and my sweet potato. So perfect balance with a complex carbohydrate. Coming back over here. Now actually this is something kind of funny. So this is where I say, like, I kind of play this like Pyrex musical like dance when I'm cooking, or when I'm like kind of prepping everything out. Cause see how I've got like 2 peppers here and they're side by side. Again, I will eat the same things but in a different variety, in a different order. So what I would do is, just for visual, I am gonna switch how I eat that. Okay, and then now when I look at this again, I actually probably would switch it again because I don't have a yogurt over here. And on work days, I like, you know, having things that are good and sweet. So again, just kind of mixing it up, and then coming back down here, you can see I'm kind of sort of repeating dinners that I had, which I had up here for lunch. But again, I'm never ever eating the same thing on the same day, okay? So make this a variety for yourself. It does not have to be boring. This does not have to be hard at all. And I'm really excited. Like, whenever I prep like this, it just always makes me so excited. All right, that's a wrap. So I hope that you guys found this helpful. I love showing you guys these videos and my little tips and tricks about how I meal prep, how I eat. Again, you can see I really didn't use recipes, but I did bring you guys dishes, right? So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any specific questions about anything that I did in this video, or anything about fitness or health in general, reach out to me, all right? I love doing this. I love all y'all. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you later.